She dropped her load on the footpath by the building's front door, went to the basement for another, began the long climb back up. By now it was like climbing to a higher altitude, where she had to work so much harder to milk the life she needed from its thinner air. The weight in her arms, too, a sack of grout this time, increased steadily as she mounted the stairs. As in the final reps of a final gym set, each additional effort now brought her closer to the absolute limits of her physical strength. And by the time she was halfway back up, her legs were trembling. She paused to rest and looked up. Alba would be sulking, of course, because her call a few minutes before had not been answered obediently. With a conclusive thud, she dropped her bag of grout onto the living room floor, then straightened herself as best she could. Alba was sitting at the kitchen table with a stupid look on her face. "What?" Lil said. "Pierre is in the hospital," explained a sick voice. "In Trondheim. They said his heart stopped. They said he had a heart attack. They said he died." "Our Pierre," Lil said, absolutely baffled, because their Pierre was only 20 years old and in perfect health. "They said his heart stopped, but they revived him and now he's in the hospital on life support." With ferocious anxiety, Alba was waiting for the love of her life, the woman always so sure about everything, especially her own ability to endure or overcome, to contradict all this. "You keep saying they," Lil said as patiently as she could, though there was already a taint of panic in her voice too. "The hospital," Alba said blankly. "They called your phone. I answered it. They just hung up." Her mind was grabbing at solid facts. As gently as she could, Lil pried her phone from Alba's hand, brought up the last incoming call, hit the number. It was a 59, which meant Norway, where Pierre was currently spending his Erasmus year. Waiting for Norway to answer, she poured a glass of water and put it in Alba's hand, where her phone had been.